Good morning, students. In last lectures, we studied about fundamental concepts and fluid statics. These are the two chapters. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about fluid kinematics. This is the third chapter, and we are going to discuss about the fluid kinematics. Okay, what do you know about kinematics? Fluid kinematics. Fluid kinematics is the branch of fluid mechanics which deals with the study of velocity and acceleration of the particles of fluid in motion and their distribution in space without consideration of any forces or energy involved. This is the fluid kinematics. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about the types of flow, continuity equation, okay, then derivation and applications of momentum equation, Euler's equation, Bernoulli's equation, velocity, potential and stream function, concept of flow net. These are the sub points of this chapter. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the types of flow and continuity equation. So, we are already know about the different types of flows. What are the types of flows or what are the types of fluid flows? First, steady and unsteady flow. Second, uniform and non-uniform flow. Third, laminar and turbulent flow. Compressible and incompressible flow. Rotational and irrotational flow. 1, 2 and 3 dimensional flows. These are the types of fluid flows. And we will also discuss about the continuity equation. So let's start with the different types of flows or classification of fluid flows. First, uniform flow and non-uniform flow. Uniform flow, the flow in which velocity at a given time does not change with respect to space, in bracket length of direction of flow is called as uniform flow. For example, flow through a long straight pipe of uniform diameter is considered as uniform flow, that is dV by ds is equal to 0. That is flow in which velocity at a given time does not change with respect to space. Okay, the flow in which the velocity at a given time changes with respect to space is called as non-uniform flow. The flow in which velocity at a given time changes with respect to space is called as non-uniform flow. For example, flow through a long pipe with varying cross section is considered as non-uniform flow. That is dV by ds is not equal to 0. Okay. Then steady and unsteady flow. The flow in which fluid characteristics like velocity, pressure, density, etc. at a point do not change with respect to time is called as steady flow. Okay. For example, flow of water with constant discharge through a pipeline is as a steady flow. Okay. Then how can we define in a formula? dV by dt is equal to 0, dP by dt is equal to 0 or dP by dt is equal to 0, d rho by dt is equal to 0. Okay. Then what is meant by unsteady flow? The flow in which fluid characteristics like velocity, pressure and density etc. at a point changes with respect to time is called as unsteady flow. That means with respect to time velocity, pressure and density changes. Okay. For example, flow of water with varying discharge through a pipe is as a unsteady flow. dV by dt is not equal to 0, d rho by dt is not equal to 0, dP by dt is not equal to 0. Then next, steady non-uniform flow and unsteady uniform flow. In steady non-uniform flow, condition changes from point to point in stream but not change with time. And in unsteady uniform flow, at a given instant in time, the condition at every point are the same but will change with time. Okay, an unsteady non-uniform flow, every condition of the flow may change from point to point and with time at every point. Okay. Next, 1, 2 and 3 dimensional flow. Okay. The flow in which the velocity is the function of time and one space coordinate x is called as one dimensional flow. For example, flow through the pipe is considered as a one dimensional flow. That is u is equal to fx, v is equal to 0 and w is equal to 0. Then what is meant by two dimensional flow? The flow in which the velocity is the function of time and two space coordinate x and y is called as two dimensional flow. For example, viscous flow between parallel plates of large extent, flow at the middle part of airplane wing, flow over a long spillway and flow below long weirs are considered as two dimensional flows. U is equal to f1 xy, phi is equal to f2 xy and w is equal to 0. Then the flow in which the velocity is the function of time and three space coordinate x, y, z is called as three dimensional flow. For example, flow is converging or diverging pipes or open channels are as three dimensional flow. Flow in a river, flow at inlet of a nozzle, etc. are the examples of three dimensional flow. U is equal to f1 xyz, v is equal to f2 xyz and w is equal to f3 in bracket xyz 0, where u, v, w are the velocities in x, y, z direction. Okay, you can see in the graph where the particle path, particle A time and particle A at time t are shown in the figure. Okay, these are the 1, 2 and 3 dimensional flows. Okay. Typical examples are fully developed flows in long uniform pipes and open channels. One dimensional flow problem will require only elementary analysis and can be solved analytically in most cases. Figure shows one dimensional ideal flow along a pipe where the velocity is uniform across the pipe section. Okay. Then viscous and inviscid flows. Viscous and inviscid flows. An inviscid flow is one in which viscous effects do not significantly influence the flow and are thus neglected. If the shear stresses in a flow are small and act over such small areas that they do not significantly affect the flow field, the flow can be assumed as inviscid flow. In a viscous flow, the effect of viscosity are important and cannot be ignored. Based on experience, it has been found that the primary class of flows which can be modeled as inviscid flows is external flows, that is flow of an unbounded fluid which exists exterior to a body, and viscous effects that may exist are confined to a thin layer called a boundary layer which is attached to the boundary. The velocity in a boundary layer is always 0 at a fixed wall, a result of viscosity. For many flow situations, boundary layers are so thin that they can simply be ignored when studying the gross features of a flow around a streamlined body. You can see in the figure viscous flow in a boundary layer and external flow around an airfoil. Okay, inviscid flow, boundary layer and edge of boundary layer. We can see in this boundary layer theory. Okay. Viscous flows include the broad class of internal flows, such as flows in pipes, hydraulic machines and conduits, and in open channels. In such flows, viscous effects cause substantial losses and account for the huge amount of energy that must be used to transport oil and gas in pipelines. The no slip condition resulting in zero velocity at the wall and the resulting shear stresses lead directly to these losses. You can see in the figure viscous internal flow in figure A in a pipe and in figure B between two parallel plates. Then next, fourth, compressible and incompressible flows. The flow in which the density do not constant for the fluid flow is called as compressible flow. The flow in which the density do not constant for the fluid flow is called as compressible flow. For example, problems involving flight of rockets, aircrafts, flow of air in problems concerned with turbo machines, compressor blades, flow of gases through openings like nozzles. That is, rho is not equal to constant. And second, incompressible flow, the flow in which the density is constant for the fluid flow is called as incompressible flow. Okay. For example, problems involving liquids, that is hydraulic problems for flow of gases in machines like fans and blowers, that is rho is not equal to constant for incompressible flow. Okay. Low speed gas flows such as atmospheric flow referred to above are also considered to be incompressible flows. The Mach number is defined as m is equal to v divided by c, where v is the gas speed and c is the speed of sound. The Mach number is useful in deciding whether a particular gas flow can be studied as an incompressible flow. If m is less than 0.3, density variations are at most 3% and the flow is assumed to be incompressible. For standard air, this corresponds to a velocity below about 100 meter per second. And if m is greater than 0.3, the density variations influence the flow and compressibility effects should be accounted for. The next classification of fluid or type of fluid flows is laminar and turbulent flow. In figure, you can see laminar, transitional and turbulent are the flows. Okay. So, the flow in which the adjacent layers do not cross to each other and move along well-defined path is called as laminar flow. For example, flow of blood in small veins, flow of oil in bearings, flow in porous media, flow of highly. Okay. The flow in which the adjacent layer cross to each other and do not move along the well defined path is called as turbulent flow. For example, flow through a river or canal, smoke from chimney, smoke from a cigarette. Okay. If Reynolds number is less than 2000, then the flow is laminar. If Reynolds number is more than 4000, then the flow is turbulent. If the Reynolds number is between 2000 to 400, then the flow is transit. Okay. So, in sharp contrast, mixing is very significant in turbulent flow, in which fluid particles move haphazardly in all directions. It is therefore impossible to trace motion of individual particles in turbulent flow. Whether the flow is laminar or not depends on the Reynolds number. Then Re is equal to rho V d divided by mu, where rho is the density, mu is the viscosity, V is the section mean velocity, and d is the diameter of pipe. Okay. So, less than 2000 Reynolds number is laminar flow, 2000, between 2000 and 4000 transitional flow, and greater than 4000 is the turbulent flow. Okay, these are the types of fluid flows or classification of fluid flows. So in next point, continuity equation, we can start. What do you know about continuity equation, or how can we define continuity equation? Okay, continuity equation is based on the principle of conservation of mass. It states that mass can neither be created nor destroyed. The mass accumulated equals to the rate of change of mass between the two sections. It states that mass of flowing fluid through a pipe of varying section remain constant for an incompressible flow. Q is equal to A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2 is equal to constant. For three-dimensional flow, continuity equation is du by dx plus dv by dy plus dw by dz equal to 0. Okay, so total mass outflow equal to total mass inflow, which translates into the following mathematical relation: summation of rho 1 v1 a1 in bracket from 1 to m equal to summation of t1 to n in bracket rho 1 v1 a1 out. It means summation total mass inflow is equal to total mass outflow, where m is the number of inlets and n is the number of outlets. If the fluid incompressible, example water with rho, being effectively constant, then equation will be summation of v1 a1 equal to summation of v1 a1 out. Okay, summation of v1 a1 in equal to summation of v1 a1 out. In figure we can see q is equal to v1 a1 equal to v2 a2 equal to constant. Let's take one example. Water flows through a garden hose nozzle. You can see in the figure garden hose, nozzle and bucket, where we are going to fill the bucket with water. A golden hose attached with a nozzle is used to fill a 10 gallons bucket. The inner diameter of the hose is 2 cm and it reduces to 0.8 cm at the nozzle exit. If it takes 50 seconds to fill the bucket with water, determine A. the volume and mass flow rates of water through the hose, and B. the average velocity of water at the nozzle exit. So we can see the solution for this problem. A garden hose is used to fill a water bucket. The volume and mass flow rate of water and the exit velocity are to be determined. Assumption: we have to assume first, water is an incompressible substance. Second, flow through the hose is steady. And third, there is no waste of water by splashing. So what are the properties? We take the density of water to be 1000 kg per meter cube equal to 1 kg per liter. Okay, so first case A, noting that 10 gallon of water are discharged in 50 seconds. The volume and mass flow rates of water are V is equal to V divided by delta T equal to 10 gallons divided by 50 seconds, that is 3.7854 liter divided by 1 gallon equal to 0.757 liter per second. Okay, is the velocity. And mass m is equal to rho v equal to in bracket 1 kg divided by L in bracket complete into 0.757 liter per second. So m is equal to 0.757 kg per second. Okay, then B, the cross sectional area of the nozzle exit is AE, area is equal to pi r square, pi r e square equal to pi into 0.4 centimeter square equal to 0.5027 centimeter square equal to 0.5027 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter square. Okay, converting it into meter square. The volume flow rate through the hose and the nozzle is constant. Then the average velocity of water at the nozzle exit becomes V is equal to V divided by AE equal to 0.757 liter per second divided by 0.5027 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter square in bracket 1 meter cube divided by 1000 liter equal to 15.1 meter per second is the velocity. By calculating or the formulas, putting the values in the formula and calculating, we get the value V is equal to 15.1 meter per second. Okay, so thank you very much. In this lecture we studied about the continuity equation and different types of fluid flows. Okay, thank you.